which will be the awards of the SDG Customer Impact Awards. And the person to do that is the Chief Financial Officer of RELX, Nick Luff. But please stay tuned after Nick Luff that we're going to have that talk to the experts sessions, which will be on the 2030 stage on the left-hand side where we have the speaker's corner. But we'll talk about that some more. But right now, I'm going to hand over to Nick Luff.
Thanks, Shola. And congratulations on an inspiring day. It's my pleasure to present two of the RELX Customer SDG Impact Awards today. These awards, which were introduced for the first time last year, recognize customers from across our business who've made a significant and demonstrable contribution to one or more of the SDGs. Our first winner this year is the International Commission of Jurists. They've been nominated by LexisNexis Legal and Professional in recognition of their commitment to advancing the rule of law, supporting SDG 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions, in particular for the work they've done in Myanmar. Founded in 1952, the International Commission of Jurists, or the ICJ, has played a unique and prominent role as a non-governmental organization defending human rights and the rule of law worldwide. In Myanmar, prior to the military coup, the ICJ was a strong partner to the country's Supreme Court, supporting the development of legal research and later with publishing commercial cases. Here to accept the award, we are honored to have with us the Secretary General of the ICJ, Saman Zarifi. Saman has a stellar CV, having attended Cornell University, Cornell Law School, and New York Law School, University Law School. He's been a corporate litigator in California, a senior research fellow at Erasmus University, and the editor of several publications on international law. Saman has worked at Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International, and has been Secretary General of the ICJ since 2017. Saman, thank you for all the work you've done, both yourself and the ICJ, supporting the rule of law around the world. I'm delighted to present this award to you in recognition of that work. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Nick. As you said, I'm Sam Zarifi. I'm the Secretary General of the International Commission of Jurists. And as you said, for the last 70 years, since 1952, we've been working to defend the rule of law and make sure that the rule of law and its connection with human rights are respected around the world by bringing in place some of the international conventions that we rely on, by putting in place assistance to national institutions like courts and attorneys general, and by working directly with human rights defenders on the ground. And all of those were seen in our work in Myanmar. So I'm very, very grateful and honored by having RELX and our colleagues at LexisNexis recognize this work. Of course, in Myanmar, the situation seems quite grim right now. The brutal coup d'etat that has taken place there has taken the country back in many ways to the dark days that it's faced for the last few decades, except for a brief moment that we felt in the last few years. There was hope for movement forward. Ruled by military fiat, of course, is the very antithesis of the rule of law. It's where laws are unpredictable, unfair, discriminatory, and not respecting of human rights. And that's where in Myanmar, our colleagues today, lawyers and paralegals that work directly with the ICJ and that we've trained, are trying to defend against the military even now. They're trying to protect people who have been detained, people who have been arbitrarily arrested, even in front of places like the eerily named insane prison. Our colleagues are working right now to make sure that, to the extent possible, even under the threat of military retaliation, we will fight for the rule of law. As you heard, before the coup, we were working for a few years with the Supreme Court and the Attorney General's office by doing some very basic things. It seems very simple. Of course, it's the core of LexisNexis's work that laws and court decisions should be public, but this was not really the case in Myanmar. And so we were trying to work with those institutions while we thought that there was the will and the space to do so. But that space was narrowing even before the coup. and where we were facing very credible allegations of genocide against the Rohingya people in Myanmar. And that's where we were working not just at the national level, at the ground level, but also at the international level, working with institutions such as the International Court of Justice, the International Criminal Court, and national courts to try to identify the violations and to try to bring accountability for those violations. That is basically the model of the work of the ICJ on all continents around the world, trying to connect the rule of law and human rights with ordinary people whose rights are immediately affected, all the way to the institutions that create the norms and fight to implement those norms. So I'm very, very pleased that this work has been recognized and that our colleagues in Myanmar have their work being recognized. And I hope that we can continue to work together with LexisNexis in making sure that laws are well-known, predictable, and accessible by people and by lawyers around the world. So on behalf of the ICJ, thank you, RELX, and thank you, LexisNexis.
Thank you, Saman, and we look forward to continuing to work with you. So thank you for that. And our second winner of the Customer Impact Awards is Ørsted. They have been nominated by ICIS, which is part of our LexisNexis Risk Solutions Group, in recognition of their transformation into a renewable energy business, supporting SDG 7, affordable and clean energy. Once the national oil and gas company of Denmark and one of the most carbon-intensive energy companies in Europe, Ørsted has transformed itself and is now recognized as one of the most sustainable energy companies in the world. They offer wind and solar power with associated storage capability and provide renewable hydrogen to energy users around the world. Ørsted is on track to be carbon neutral in its own operations by 2025 and is committed to halving carbon emissions from wholesale buying and selling of natural gas and from its supply chain by 2032. They've been ranked as the most sustainable energy company in Corporate Knights Global 100 Index for 3 years in a row. Here to accept the award is Senior Lead Product Owner Anders Oy. Anders, congratulations on an incredibly impressive transformation. I'm delighted to present you with this award in recognition of the impact Ørsted is having in making the world's energy supplies more sustainable. Over to you.
Yeah, thanks. It's an honor to be awarded for sustainability. So first and foremost, thanks to RELX and ICI for recognizing the effort that Ørsted is undertaking on the sustainability agenda. As you mentioned, over the past decade, Ørsted has undertaken one of the most ambitious green transformations in the global energy industry, guided by our vision of creating a world that runs entirely on green energy, and a strong commitment to the Paris Agreement and the UN Sustainability Development Goal. Since 2006, Ørsted has transformed from one of the most fossil fuel intensive energy companies in Europe to a leading renewable energy company and the world's biggest developer of offshore wind. The green energy transformation is urgently needed because fossil fuels account for 73%, the largest share, of global greenhouse gas emissions that contribute to global warming. The world must halve global emissions by 2030 and reach net zero carbon emissions by 2050 to limit global warming below 1.5 degrees Celsius and thereby avoid catastrophic climate change. The Science Based Targets Initiative has approved Ørsted's carbon reduction target as aligned with the reduction of pathway needed to keep global warming below 1.5 degrees Celsius. So we highly appreciate your recognition of this. So further to the sustainability development goals, with the substantial investments in green energy, Ørsted helps to progress the SDG 7 on clean and affordable energy and SDG 13 on climate action. We believe we are on track to become carbon neutral in energy generation and operations by 2025. The carbon emissions have been reduced by 87% since 2006, with a target of 98% reduction by 2030. We are deploying up to 50 gigawatts of renewable energy capacity by 2030 and about 13 million tons of CO2 emissions avoided annually by our green energy generating assets. So thanks a lot for recognizing our effort in this area, both to RELX and to ICIS.
Thank you, Anders, and congratulations again. So those were our first 2 award winners. I think there are 2 more coming up later in the day with Jelena Sevo, but for now I will hand you back to Shola to continue your Inspiration Day.
Many thanks, Nick. And I have to say that those organizations that have been recognized, I think this is an incentive for many more organizations to continue to make their work public, to continue to drive change within their communities, because it is worth being celebrated for the hard work that you do and the change that you bring about. And so I'm going to introduce now Yelena Sevo, who is the Chief Strategy Officer for RELX. And Yelena will be introducing the second customer awards. Over to you, Yelena.
Fantastic. Hello, Shola, and hello, everyone. I hope you had a wonderful day so far. I have an absolutely enormous pleasure to introduce our final two customer awards. The first customer was nominated by Elsevier for their great efforts across 3 SDGs: poverty, affordable and clean energy, and life on land. So I have a great pleasure to introduce University of São Paulo. University of São Paulo ranked number 14 out of more than 750 institutions globally by the Times Higher Education Impact Ranking. This ranking was developed in conjunction with Elsevier to measure the contribution of academic institutions to the progress of SDGs. The University of São Paulo has implemented a number of policies and programs to make a positive impact on both the student population and the wider community. These initiatives include increasing and enhancing diversity in the student population from underrepresented and low-income groups by using focused action, financial support, meal plans, and all sorts of targeted support to help the students successfully complete their courses. The University of São Paulo also works with community groups on social incubation projects, such as the GRACE project, to engage girls in careers in which they have not traditionally been represented, such as computer science and entrepreneurship. The University of São Paulo has also successfully implemented environmental sustainability to reduce the energy use across its campuses and foster carbon-free transport by use of free bikes for students and establishment of bike lanes. It is my great pleasure to call to the stage to receive the award Professor Segurado, who is a professor of infectious diseases and head of the Institutional Research Office from University of São Paulo. Professor, welcome.
Thank you, Yelena, and thank you so much for this opportunity. On behalf of the entire academic community of the University of São Paulo, I would like, first of all, to thank RELX and Elsevier for the important award we are deeply honored to receive today. Conscious of its responsibility as a Brazilian public higher education institution to contribute for the social and economic development of our country and region, the University of São Paulo, as you said, has been actively involved in promoting educational programs, innovative research, and engaging outreach initiatives aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals. The award has particularly acknowledged our engagement in research and institutional policies and programs related to SDG 1, No Poverty, SDG 7, Affordable and Clean Energy, and SDG 15, Life on Land, and the results we have obtained in these areas for the benefit of both the academic community and society at large. It is important to say and acknowledge that our accomplishments so far have only been possible due to the joint and devoted participation of the academic staff, administrators, students, and local community leaders we are deeply grateful to. Receiving this award makes us realize we are on the right track, Jelena. The duty is then now to keep ourselves committed to the institutional role to contribute for a more equitable and sustainable world. Thank you very much for the award.
What a fantastic introduction. Thank you so much, Professor Segurado. And our final award was nominated by Reed Exhibitions for this customer was nominated for their commitment to diversity and inclusion, both on and off screen. And I have a great pleasure to introduce to you A&E Networks. A&E Networks brands use their global influence to share diverse stories and voices on diverse topics such as racial diversity, gender equality, and sexuality, And they do this throughout their programming, which includes shows such as Surviving R. Kelly, Surviving Jeffrey Epstein, and with initiatives such as Broader Focus and Voices Magnified. A&E leads by example to promote diversity off-screen as well, partnering with minority and female-owned production companies and creative services. And they by far exceed any industry average in hiring women behind the camera. The Women in Global Entertainment Power Lunch was launched by A&E almost 10 years ago now. This annual gathering is now one of the most meaningful global platforms for female executives to connect, nurture, motivate, mentor, and inspire each other, encouraging positive change overall in the industry. A&E is also founding partner of the MIPCOM Diversified TV Excellence Awards, created 4 years ago to recognize, champion, and celebrate diversity, equality, and inclusion throughout the media industry. It is my great pleasure to call to the stage to receive the award Melissa Madden, SVP of International Marketing at A&E Networks. Welcome, Melissa.
Thank you, Helena. Thank you. Hi, everybody. On behalf of all of us at A+E, I'm honoured to be receiving this award. We believe at A&E that striving for equality together is never ending and it's ongoing. We have a long-standing history partnering with those working for positive change, and we use our platforms for purpose. It's essential to our mission. It's our goal to empower diverse and dynamic voices, champion and give women a platform for their stories. Our objective is simple, but it's not easy. We use our content, our platforms, our talent, and our initiatives to entertain and be a powerful force for transformation. We're grateful for this honour and know that we must continue to elevate a variety of voices and perspectives and ideas. So on behalf of everyone at A&E Media Group, we appreciate your support. As always, being a media company, we've produced a tape, much more eloquent than I am. Please take a look at this piece. Thank you.
We all need to band together.
We have the power to make a difference.
We are creators. Ours is a world of inspiration. Inspiration that opens our minds, lifts us, connects us, and awakens us to a world of infinite possibility. A world that inspires us to entertain with purpose. We embrace more diverse stories and storytellers to enlighten and bring us together.
Everyone should recognize their innate capacity to create change in this world.
We strive to empower more women.
We are stronger when we are together.
Behind the camera and in front of it.
There's all kinds of women telling all kinds of stories.
We believe in pride for everyone. And anyone who believes in who they are and aspires to be.
There's so many different ways for people of color to tell stories because we've got so many stories to tell.
Inspiration can enlighten us, empower us, and unite us.
I love doing things that cause a reaction that may lead to action.
To inspire change.
To inspire change. What a motivational video. Thank you so much, Melissa. And on behalf of RELX, I want to give great thanks to all of our customers and the 2 customers who have just received their awards. Thank you so much. And with that, let me hand over the session back to our host for today. Shola, over to you.
Thank you so much, Yelena, and congratulations to the winners of the Customer Awards. Keep doing what you're doing, and I hope this incentivizes other organizations to do more visibly, undeniably, and to be recognized for their efforts in building differences in their communities for the better.